New York City, fast, loud, and unforgiving. The streets pulse with life, each person wrapped in their own world, chasing time, chasing dreams, or just trying to get through the day. In the middle of it all, Alex walks, hands in his pockets, his mind elsewhere. The weight of 1,000 thoughts presses on him: work, bills, regrets. The kind of thoughts that make the city noise fade into the background. And then, bam! A sudden jolt snaps him back to reality. He's just collided with someone. A man, face buried in his phone, now staring at him with wide, furious eyes. For a moment, everything stands still. Then the man's voice slices through the chaos. "Watch where you're going!" Alex blinks, takes a breath, and before he can even get a word out, smack! A hand across his face. The sting is immediate. The crowd moves around them, oblivious. But in Alex's world, time has slowed. His heart pounds. His fists tighten. The old anger, the one he's fought so hard to control, starts to bubble up. His body tenses, ready to fight back. But then, another memory rushes in. A different street. A different moment. A different choice. One that almost cost him everything. And now, standing in the middle of a crowded city, Alex realizes this is another turning point. What happens next will define him forever. Welcome to Hall of Gentle Stories. Where are you watching from? Let's know in the comment below. Make sure you see this amazing story till the end, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more interesting stories. Let's begin. For a moment, there's silence. Alex blinks, his cheek stinging from the slap. His heart is pounding. The man in front of him, mid-30s, expensive suit, frustration written all over his face, glares down at the shattered phone on the sidewalk. "Are you kidding me? Watch where you're going." His voice cuts through the noise of the city, sharp and full of rage. People nearby glance over, but no one steps in. Just another heated moment on the streets of New York. Alex swallows hard. His jaw tightens. The old anger flickers inside him. He raises his hand slightly, palms up, trying to defuse the situation. "I'm so sorry, let me help." Before he can finish, the man steps closer, fast, too fast. Smack. Another slap. Harder this time. A few gasps come from the bystanders, but no one moves. No one interferes. Alex stumbles back slightly, his fists clenching. His breathing sharpens. Every muscle in his body is telling him to swing back, to defend himself, to make this man regret ever laying a hand on him. His mind flashes back to 2 years ago. The heat of the moment, the mistake that nearly ruined him. The regret, the pain. The air feels heavy. His heartbeat pounds in his ears. And in that split second, Alex has to decide. Is this the moment he loses himself again? Or is this the moment he finally takes control? Time slows. The world around Alex fades, and suddenly, he's not here anymore. He's behind the wheel of his old car, fingers gripping the steering wheel so tightly, his knuckles turn white. The stress of the day weighs on him like a heavy chain. Everything had gone wrong. Deadlines, arguments, a boss who didn't care. His mind is racing, frustration bubbling under the surface. Then bam! A violent jolt. His body jerks forward. The sound of metal crunching against metal fills the air. Someone just rear-ended him. Alex slams on the brakes, heart pounding. He exhales sharply, trying to keep it together. But the second he steps out and sees the damage, deep scratches, a dented bumper, something snaps inside him. The other driver, a man in his 40s, steps out cautiously, hands slightly raised. "Hey man, I'm so sorry, I didn't see..." But Alex isn't listening. His anger takes over. The same anger that's followed him for years. The kind that whispers, "Don't let them walk over you." His voice rises. "Are you blind? Look what you did!" The man tries to explain, tries to apologize. But Alex steps forward, shoving him back. His pulse is hammering. The heat in his chest feels unbearable. The argument escalates, fast. Words turn to shouting. Shouting turns to a push, and then his fist swings before he can stop it. The man stumbles back, his head hitting the pavement with a sickening thud. Silence. People gather. Someone yells. Panic grips Alex as the reality of what just happened sets in. Then chaos. The crowd rushes him. Someone shoves him hard. Another punch lands against his jaw. His vision blurs. He's on the ground now, kicked, beaten, helpless. Blood pools in his mouth. Sirens wail in the distance. And in that moment, lying there, everything becomes clear. This is where his anger has brought him. And if he's not careful, it'll destroy him again. The memory fades. The screams, the punches, the regret. Alex blinks. He's back. The city hums around him. Cars rushing past. Distant chatter. But all he can hear is his own breathing, sharp, uneven. His face still stings from the slap, his fists trembling at his sides. And then he sees it, his own hands clenched, just like before. This is it, the same crossroads, the same fire rising in his chest, daring him to lose control, daring him to make the same mistake. But this time, he breathes, a slow inhale, a steady exhale. His fingers loosen, his shoulders drop, the tension in his jaw eases. He looks at the man in front of him, still fuming, still waiting for a reaction. But Alex doesn't give him what he expects. Instead, his voice is calm, measured. "I'm sorry again for bumping into you. I hope your phone is okay." The words hang in the air. The man hesitates. His anger flickers, then dims. He looks down at his broken phone, then back at Alex. The rage in his eyes wavers, unsure of itself. "Yeah, it's fine," he mutters, stuffing the shattered device into his pocket. Alex nods, then steps away, not in defeat, but in control. With every step, the weight of his past lifts. He isn't running from a fight. He's walking toward something greater, self-mastery. And for the first time in a long time, he feels free. Alex sits alone on a worn-out park bench, staring at nothing in particular. The air is crisp, the faint rustling of leaves filling the silence. He exhales slowly, feeling the weight of what just happened. I could have reacted differently. I could have made a scene, thrown a punch. But what would that have solved? His mind drifts back to the past, to the moment he lost control, to the chaos, the regret. The pain of that night still lingers, but today was different. He looks around. Life moves on, unaware of his quiet victory. A father kneels beside his crying son, gently wiping away his tears instead of scolding him. A couple walks by, their hushed conversation tense, until one of them reaches out, intertwining their fingers, diffusing the tension without a single harsh word. These moments seem small, but they hold everything. A real strength isn't proving a point. It's knowing when to let go. Alex lets out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. The urge to fight, to defend his pride, to lash out when wronged, it had always felt like power. But now he sees it for what it really was, a chain. Anger can destroy a life in seconds. But self-control? That builds a lifetime of peace. Alex's story isn't just about him. It's about all of us. We've all been there, standing at the edge of a decision, emotions running high, anger tempting us to act without thinking. A harsh word, a reckless action, a choice we can't take back. But in those moments we have a choice. Will you control your emotions, or will they control you? Self-control isn't about weakness. It's about strength, the kind of strength that doesn't need to be proven, the kind that doesn't destroy, but protects. Unchecked anger can cost more than we realize. It can break relationships, shatter opportunities, and leave scars that last a lifetime. But emotional intelligence, the ability to pause, to think, to choose a better path that builds something far greater. A life of peace, a life without regrets. So the next time you feel that fire rising, remember this: the strongest person in the room isn't the loudest. It's the one who knows when to step back, take a breath, and walk away with their dignity intact. Alex didn't win a trophy. He didn't walk away with applause. But he walked away with something far more valuable: peace. The kind of peace that comes from knowing he made the right choice. As he moves forward, the weight on his shoulders feels lighter. He isn't carrying regret. He isn't chained to anger. He's free. And this moment, it wasn't just about Alex. It's about you. Because at some point you'll face a moment like this. A moment where emotions run high, where anger begs for control. And when that moment comes, what choice will you make? If this story moved you, take a second to reflect. Then let's keep this conversation going. Hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more powerful life lessons. Because sometimes one lesson, one story can change everything.